Hello, good morning everyone. Very warm welcome to babycode free TOEFL sessions. I'm Tanur Mani, an IDP certified trainer and a TOEFL certified trainer. So I'm back with my live session number 10, which is for the listening module. We have covered the reading part. Total 7 sessions have been covered for the reading. Then 8th session, we have started with the listening module. We have covered just content and just purpose questions. We have covered detailed question, and now the third topic is function question. So the candidates who are watching this session for the very first time, please go back to session number 1 of listening and session 2, and this is the third session. And we have covered reading module also. Please go back and watch the reading module as well so that you can practice. Now, what are function questions? Function questions, they ask you to identify the particular meaning of a statement in the given context. Because sometimes a statement can have a different meaning and it depends on the situation, like what kind of meaning it is having. In other words, real meaning is different from the surface or the literal meaning, right? So, real meaning is different from the literal meaning. For example, if I say, if you are in a room with other people and someone says that it's getting chilly in here, what they might really be saying is that could someone close the window? So, real meaning is different from the literal meaning. So you will be getting a question structure here like this, that function question, they ask you to look for a real meaning of a statement in a context. Literal meaning can be it's getting chilly in here, but the real meaning would be could someone close the window? So you can recognize this function question because they include phrases like what does the professor mean when he says this, or why does the student say. So these are the two phrases which by which you can easily recognize your question type. You can easily identify that these are function questions. Why does the professor mean when he says this, or why does the student say this? Now, TOEFL listening question, they often ask you or the students who are giving this test that identify the meaning of this particular statement, of the statement in a particular context also. Meaning of statement can vary depending on situation, when or which it is was used. Now, statement, they often has a different literal meaning from the meaning in its current context. And statements often include some kind of slangs or idiomatic expression. So meaning is often like affected by the way how the speaker says it. So you have to look for any of the several rhetorical functions, which can be sarcasm, irony, redirection, correction or clarification, implied or indirect questions, request also, rhetorical questions also. So you have to check that these are directed, recommended, complaint, agree, disagree question, what kind of tone he's using, what kind of function he's using, right? Question will replay an expert from a conversation or lecture that contains the statement and just the statement itself. There will be no written text provided here. So typically, one question per passage will be there. One function question per passage will be there. Sometimes there are none or even two. Function questions are easy to recognize also because they are usually written as follows. These are the two phrases which you can see here. Why does the professor say this? To explain. What does the student mean when he say this? So you have to look for this and then you have to answer your question. Now this will be a question. You can see the link here. You can open this audio and listen to this part of lecture and then you have to attempt this question. See this. This is an audio here. So you have to listen it and then you have to answer this question. Okay. Are you able to see this? I'm just sharing my screen once again. Yes. So you can look for the answer also, that you have to listen. Why does the professor say this? है ना? Your question is, why does the professor say this? Sorry for the interruption. So now you are able to see the question again. Listen to the audio carefully and then you can submit your answer. Now I'm sharing some of the tips for your listening skills which can help you with this function question. Is that whenever you're listening to a passage, ask yourself that what the speaker is really doing by certain things. Are they doing things like directing, recommending, or complaining? Are they agreeing or disagreeing? Are they questioning or confirming? So you should know the types of intention and that they often happen beneath the surface, right? So you have to identify the function, what is said more easily. So sometimes speaker is really saying about directing, sometimes about recommending, sometimes about complaining, agreeing, disagreeing, questioning, and confirming also, right? So some tips I'm sharing is, very first is that you have to pay attention to the intonation part. You have to recognize the intonation rhythm of your English. You don't have to study intonation, but yes, you have to look for the tones of important words. Sentence transition also, because it is the key what you understand when you hear. Try to distinguish between sounds. You will be able to hear and recognize the sounds in the English language. You don't need to study every sound as intensely, but you would be looking for spoken pronunciation. You make sure that you can know the difference between slight different words or different sounds in English, like D and T, B and V, I and R, right? So try to differentiate between these sounds. Second is practice paraphrasing and inference meaning. Now you know that during your listening lectures or conversation, whenever you're doing this recordings in practice, you will think about the words that speaker could have used. So it will be like handy on the test day if you know that how that answer will be paraphrased. So paraphrasing of text instead of the exact quotation, they will not use the same question, but they will be paraphrasing. So the speaker will uses a word that you don't know. Listen better by taking good notes. The fast way to answer question is that accurately look for the listening test, become a good note taker, learn to keep your pace, what you hear, take notes attentively but quickly, look for information which is important and you can ignore which is not required here, right? So effective note taking will help you with the proper speed, notes making strategy. Next is that these general tips would guide you with the right path for your success on the test day. You can increase your score if you focus on the specific type of passages and the question and you understand them as well. Okay, so this was all session about function questions. Go to the baby code application, watch out the live sessions on YouTube as well as on the baby code. Do the practice for detailed questions, function questions, and just content and just purpose question. Any doubts, any queries, you can type your comments here beneath the sessions. I'll be reverting back for all those queries. And if you want me to cover anything else, then please do mention. I will come up with those sessions. Do practice. Bye bye. Take care, all of you. And thank you so much for watching our session.